Hey there guys, Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome back to another week of cards. I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. This week, I'm dubbing this Parent Week. So we're gonna be making cards for both Father's Day and Mother's Day. Of course, you can adapt these styles to any other card with any other sentiment that you want, but I figured that would be the best way to focus on this week. Now I know that Mother's Day is a few weeks away and Father's Day is a month and a half away, but it's never too early to make these cards. Plus, I'm filming this on Saturday, so I'm really not sure what's going to be on the retiring list come Monday. So just in case one of these stamp sets is, I want to make sure that I show you guys at least another one or two cards using it. So the first stamp set I'm using today is the Apron of Love, and I'm going to be using the Apron and then the Best Ever and then Mom, and we're going to be making a Mother's Day card using the Apron. So I have a piece of Night of Navy, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and I have my Whisper White card layer on the inside. I have a piece of the Tutti Frutti Designer Series paper. You could do this one or two ways. So I have cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to adhere this piece on top of it. What you could also do is cut this down to 2 1/2, and then this one is 1 1/2, and then you could adhere this to a piece of copy paper if you didn't want to use a whole sheet or almost whole sheet of that Tutti Frutti Designer Series paper, but I don't mind. So I'm gonna go, and this is a piece of the Sweet Soiree. You guys saw me use this last Wednesday with that beautiful butterfly card, and thanks you guys for all your feedback on Thursday's card. I was trying to make it look like they were outside. That's why I picked that cloud pattern. But yeah, that card was just off. It was just off. And that happens to the best of us. Unfortunately, mine just happened to be on camera. So yes. So like I said, I am filming this on Saturday. The reason why I'm filming so early is because I have an out-of-state doctor's appointment on Tuesday, which is normally my filming day. And then Monday, I have 2 other doctor's appointments. So I'm just not gonna have time to film. So I'm gonna bring in a piece of this corduroy ribbon. If you didn't wanna use this, you could absolutely use like a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of paper, which I was initially gonna do, and then I remembered we had this ribbon, so. Navy is working as my neutral today, so that meant that will be different for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't think of Navy as a neutral, but Stacy and Clinton told me it was. So if it can be neutral with clothes, it can be neutral with paper crafting, and that's another place to get great inspiration. We talked about that last week. You know, you can find a shirt, a quilt, you know, whatever it is, and you can always draw inspiration from that. So I'm gonna adhere this like I normally do with some washi tape, and I kind of want it to butt up against, I think, instead of being on top of. This is a way too big piece of washi tape. That's all right. You know what, break it in half. So I posted on my At Home with Misty Instagram yesterday that we had to get in our little tornado shelter with Roxy yesterday. Yesterday it was very stormy. We got a cold front. It's 34 degrees today. Yesterday it was in the 80s and tornado. We were under a tornado warning. We didn't get any damage, but we got Roxy and we got in the shelter, and it was so scary because we could hear the wind like rattling the garage door. It was not a fun time, but Roxy did really, really well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this with some dimensional adhesive. If this ribbon was a bit thinner, then I wouldn't really have to do this. You could just adhere it with glue, but it is gonna pop, it's gonna stick up anyway, so you might as well use dimensionals. And I love me some dimension, as you guys probably know. And I've said it before, I'm saying it again, I am using up, what are these? Dimensionals, oh my word, from the Paper Pumpkin. This video is going to go up on the 10th. So today is the last day to sign up to get April's kit. And if you sign up, you're gonna get 50% off your first 2 months if you are a brand new customer. So it'll ship a couple of days after that. So probably not next week, but the week after will be another week of 10 cards, 1 kit. So we'll see. And I am gonna try to continue to do 1 day of where I do a 3D project. We'll see. I'm not making any promises. So yeah, it was kind of scary, and it took her a long time to settle back down last night, but she did really well. She doesn't like to be held, and she doesn't like to be carried, but I scooped her up and carried her, and we got in the shelter. It's just a small one, 2-person one that's in our garage. So 2-person, 1 cat. That is crooked as a jaybird. I haven't had to do this in a while. A bit better. I'm just gonna push this under there. So this is our card base all ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my Stamparatus. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment, and I'm gonna be stamping the, what's it called? The apron. So let me bring in, make sure I've got my Stampin' Scrub, and I've got my Stampin' Mist ready to go. So since I am using photopolymer stamp sets for this, I will leave in the piece of, oh poot, foam. This green goes with the lighter green that's in the paper, so it'll coordinate. Bring in the other one. Right there. That up. We're going to ink this side up with real red. Just like that. They just pop right out. So I can clean these and also clean the stamps when I'm done. Super cool, right? It is super cool. That's probably one of the main differences between the other stamp positioners on the market and then that one. So I'm gonna bring in I think I'm gonna cut out, let's use the stitch shapes. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. They're my favorite. You guys are probably tired of seeing them, but I can't help it. All right, so I'm going to bring in washi tape and I'm gonna get all of this adhered. We're gonna cut out our apron. Going to bring in some paper snips. I'm gonna go ahead and do these, which is the tie that goes around the neck. I'm going to use the 2 smallest stitch shape circles. We'll see. I may use a circle punch to go around it. And then I'm going to cut out the apron. So I'm going to run all this through the Big Shot and I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to bring in a ruler and we'll see how big this circle is. It is 1.5, just about. So we'll bring in the 1 3/4 inch circle. Ooh, no, 1 3/4 inch. And I'm going to use that to punch the red. Okay, so let's get this all punched out. I'm going to use glue dots to adhere this because it's so tiny. Okay, then I'm going to use liquid glue to adhere this. Oops. Just going to flick it to get the you could also use your Big Shot die brush, but there's not very many. These two together. Obviously I can't measure. Let's try the 1.5 inch. Much better. Alright, so let's bring in our card base. I'm going to, of course, adhere the apron with dimensionals. there, or there. I think there. Feels like it flows a little better there. So we'll put 2 dimensionals on the bottom. Okay, that apron is looking kind of plain. So I'm going to use the cookie builder to punch out one of these tiny little hearts. Do a green bow, and then we'll put the heart in the middle. Right. And then for my final trick, I'm gonna bring in some White Perfect accents. I feel like it needs, actually no, let's use these glitter dots. So that's the first card for this week. What do you guys think? You could even dazzle this up a bit more, maybe add some rhinestones or some Wink of Stella. I guess we could do that. You could add a bow if you wanted to. You can make this really your own. This would be really cute with other designer series paper. I think it turned out really, really sweet, and I really, really like it. You know what? I'm gonna add one more dot. Let's put an O. Right there. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this card and are looking forward to the rest of the series. Don't forget, you can head over to the coordinating blog post to get the recipe and to see bigger pictures. You'll also find my April specials, links to supplies. All the information is over there on that coordinating blog post. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.